Hey guys, this is Graham here at therecordingrevolution.com. Hope you're having an awesome day. I've got a video review for you today on the Behringer V-Tone pedal, the GDi21. This is an amp modeling, distortion overdrive, stomp box / DI. Basically, in a nutshell, it's a stomp box. One button pops it on. I use it in a live rig in our worship band on Sundays. And it has a 1/4 inch in and out, so I can go right to my amp. You can use it with all my other pedals. So in essence, it acts like an overdrive pedal. Your basic drive, how much you want to drive it, treble, bass, overall gain. But where this thing shines is the amp models. Okay, it has 3 amp models that it emulates. It's got what they call Tweed, British, and California. So it's basically a Fender, a Marshall, and a Mesa. So 3 amp models, and they definitely sound pretty similar. And you've got a little switch that just flips between which amp do you want to choose, alright? And that's going to totally change your tone just with that one switch. After that is the mode switch, and that gives you sort of like if you had your amp and you got it on Tweed, so you have a Fender, and you basically, do you want it on the clean channel or do you want it on the overdrive channel? It's kind of like that, but obviously the hotter you go, the more gain you have overall. Clean, high gain, or hot. And then the mic placement switch, this guy is super cool. It emulates mic placement on your speaker, on your amp. So are you putting a microphone right up on the grill? Are you putting it off axis by a couple of inches from the center of the cone? Are you putting it a little bit further away? I actually did a video on this just last week on miking your amp, and all those mic placements I talk about in that video, this thing emulates, and it's very accurate. Mostly it's an EQ difference, because when you mic your cabinet in different places, that's what you're changing, is the EQ, the overall tone of the amp. So center is just your regular right up on the grill, so it's the most present. Off axis definitely sounds a little more muted, which is cool. And then classics, what they're calling it, it's as if the microphone is a little further away. It definitely has more of the overall tone. It seems a little more lifelike sometimes. But that's what you're going to want to play around with a lot, because that will affect the tone depending on which amp model you're using. Has a ground lift switch if you have power issues as well, any hum. I haven't had to deal with that at all yet, but it's nice to know it's there. So it's got an XLR out in the back, and this is a balanced line out, so you can use this as a DI. So you can plug your guitar right in and come right out to your mixing console live, or right out to your audio interface's mic input, and has a speaker emulation built into this XLR output. So that's what I'm showing you today. I'm going to test it out today. I've used it in recordings recently. I use it live. What you're going to hear is me going through just a few of these amp models just to show you some of the different tones you can get, so you can hear it. You're going to be hearing straight out of Pro Tools, this going right into the audio interface with no effects or anything. You can really get a lot out of this one box. It's the V-Tone GDi21. These things are so affordable, it's like $30. So it's really worth checking out. It's a sturdy piece of gear. It's probably one of the best pedals they make. Love this guy. Take a listen, see for yourself. Okay, so right now I've got the V-Tone on all dials at 12 o'clock, and I'm on the Tweed amp. The clean mode microphone placement is on the center dial. Let's change the pickup selector a little bit. So your basic sort of Fender clean channel. Now what you can do is obviously move the mic placement off axis. Or classic. So that kind of thins out the sound a little bit, and that's without even messing with the EQ on the channel. You can flip it to high gain mode. Get a little more gain on that same amp model. Or go all the way over to hot. So you got a bunch of tonal varieties even within just the tweed setting, how much gain you want and what you want the mic placement to be. And again, I'm not even messing with the EQ just yet. If you flip over to Brit on the clean setting, start with off access. You can also flip it to center. Or classic. So you get the idea that you get a lot of tonal variety just from moving the mic placement around. It's basically kind of an EQ thing. Some have more low end, as if you're right up on the mic, and some don't. That's just on the clean setting. You can dial back the gain a bit. So it's still sort of the Marshall setting. If you play lightly, it sort of cleans up a bit. So you have a lot of tones just from dialing the drive back. If you flip over to California, you're going to get sort of a mezzo sound. You can crank up the on the center a little bit. And that's only with a gain like 9 o'clock. You can crank it a little bit more. And again, that's still on the clean setting because it's just such a hot amp setting. You crank that up all the way to hot. You get a lot of fuzz. And again, you can change up the mic placement. Dial back the gain a bit. Flip it over to clean. Crank the treble a bit. A very usable, mild tone that can really be pushed at the same time. So you're getting a lot of those different tones just from flipping the amp, flipping the mode, and really this mic switch, as much as it's probably just an EQ in the background, this is the most intriguing little guy. I feel like I can really change the tone switching between the amp model and that mic placement to get something totally unique within just another second and another flip of a switch. So this pedal gives you a whole lot of variety, and we didn't even really go into much with tweaking with the treble and the bass, and obviously driving the amp model as hot or as light as you want. So in a sense, you pick your poison, start with an amp, start with a model, mode, and then just start playing and getting the tone you want. And it all ends up with your overall level here, which goes either directly out to your board or to your digital audio workstation, or going out to an amp if you come out the 1/4 inch out also, so you can use it as a stomp box in that capacity as well. So that gives you an idea of some of the tones. There's a million different ways you can use this, but hope that helps you guys out. Thanks again for tuning in to therecordingrevolution.com or checking this video out on YouTube. You guys are the best. Look out for more video reviews of products and things out there in the future, and more tips on how to make better music now. Take care, guys.